Hello, my hosts, and welcome to another live editing stream where we are starting off with a video. Obviously, we are currently doing the first wave editing of my Indonesian video. We've got water, an apple cut into slices, and I've screwed up chat. Let's fix that. All right. Because New Haven, you should be able to be put on the screen. Yeah. I should have upped the... Try reloading the stream. The name should have updated now. Because I updated the name. Dressed in a typical school uniform of an Indonesian. Okay. That looks wrong. Ah, it's better. No, don't remove that marker by having the girls start a typical school uniform. Oh. Dressed in a typical dressed in a typical yes, by having the girls start dressed in a typical school uniform. Oh, get rid of that little hesitation. By having the girls start dressed in a typical school uniform of an Indonesian high school student, showing them to be unified in their uniform. Unified in their uniform. And then having them change into traditional clothing. Oh, that's too far. Each of the cultures reflecting Indonesian. All right. It is indeed, well, some areas are formally Dutch, yes. But not all of it is completely a Dutch colony. For example, parts of Papua were colonized by the British and the Germans. Although parts of Papua are not even part of New Indonesia. Indonesia's diversity. Moreover, in every stream, Indonesian VTubers perform. Moreover, every Indonesian in every moreover moreover every there we go. Yeah. Moreover, every stream that Indonesian VTubers perform is an opportunity. Let's get rid of me choking there. That Indonesian VTubers perform is an opportunity for viewers to become emotionally invested with both the VTuber and the VTuber's country. Narrow that down. And the VTuber's country. And the interests of Indonesia. Did I introduce the... I actually dropped that. Okay. Soft power. I'm always amused when I'm talking to myself when I'm doing the recording. Of Indonesia. Soft power being the... Okay, this is going to be my conclusion. So let's drop a mark here. Conclusion. Soft power being the expression of the country's power through cultural and personal ties. We have the new public diplomacy there, down, working on non-government. I hear that Indonesian Parliament has a bit of an independence movement. Yes. Like Timor-Leste, it's one of the areas of Indonesia that's not very happy to be a part of Indonesia. Although Timor-Leste became independent. On non-government organisation, by working on non-government entities. Oops. So remove that. Let's see if that makes sense. Working on non-government, working on non-government entities, bringing more personal interrelationships. Okay. Arrow that one down. We have Hollow ID acting as a prominent nexus in there. Yeah. Fortunately, after I got this recorded, I found out about the Indonesian hospital ships, which should have been mentioned as a part of Indonesia's soft power diplomacy as well. I'll see if I can work that into the graphics at some point, because they are reaching out to a lot of... Yeah. Yet, in English, we also often call it East Timor, which again is east-east. A lot of non-Indonesian people. Narrow that down. Narrow that down. Non-Indonesian people and promoting Indonesia to them. Indonesian. Split that. people and promoting Indonesia to them. Indonesia to them. I hope this video was quite informative. I really should script my outros better. Just like America, we have the La Brea pits, in Spanish translated to the Tartar pits. Ah, hello, Mario. To them. I hope this video was quite informative. And if so, why don't you watch one of my other videos to learn more about other subjects? Thank you very much, and I hope to see you later. Goodbye. Bye. Sometimes the auto edit thing that removes the silent parts removes a little bit too much. I'm not sure why that happens. To see you later. Goodbye. Okay. Just smoothing over these cuts with cuts. Yep. What this does is, where there's a sudden jerk in movement, it does a bit of interoperation between them, so it's less obvious and makes it look like I've moved a little bit faster rather than there being a cut. Basically, it adds a sort of smear frame. Using optical flow and such what. Uh, and now, if I was a more narratively approached editor, I just wouldn't use the same cut every time, but that will come later, I suspect. I should watch more videos and things on how to be more expressive with cuts. Oh. Yeah. Could do it cut to black with Vine Boom. I guess there's an opportunity to use that at some point. I hope this video was helpful. If so, why do you want to do it? Okay. Now, switch to edit mode. Let's do that so you guys can see what's happening here. Now I've got to find myself an appropriate background. Where is my sushi bar? Let's find that. Also, about chat. That's not what I wanted to do. How do I make this go on top again? There it goes. Okay. Train. Oh, not gonna. What's this one? Ah, no, that's definitely the train one. That's not what we want. Ah, here it is, sushi. That looks better. Now, what's missing here? Why are you red? You're an adjustment. Full frame, media source. Timeline. Okay. time stretcher. Yeah, that should work. Here we go. Why is that so bright? Yeah. Well, that's true of a whole lot of languages. Like French is just one of the dialects of France, and the Parisian variant got standardized. Now, let's go here. Go. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to go brightness contrast manipulation. Just turn down the brightness a little bit. Why is that not happening? Is it because that's happening? That's weird. Why is... Oh, are you set to repeat? Are you set to repeat? It's the same with... Okay. You keep breaking. You set to loop, like that. Okay, that fixes that. Or does it? It, you get a similar thing with Hindi and Farsi, if I understand correctly. Let's make this a... That's better. Okay. Sorry, yeah, that's right, Urdu. Where they're the same language and the only thing that is different is the fact that the colors, the fact that they use a different script to write in. Okay, that makes me a bit too dark. Pump up that. Uh, you can see how my eyes narrow and that gets picked up by the thing. Okay. It's Crazy Ollie, Indonesia's most effective diplomat. No, of course not. All right. Let's stand you out here. All right. Ah, great. I do have my noir background. Where is that? I should have used my detective office background at some point again. It's Crazy Ollie, Indonesia's most effective diplomat. No, of course not. That is a ridiculous idea. However, Crazy Ollie and the other members of Hollow ID might be a far more effective force for Indonesian public diplomacy would expect. Okay, that's the end of the introduction. Then where do I start talking about? I wrote this script. There are, okay, let's put another marker here. Oh no, I can't. For the siblings. Will be safe and secure, and that the underlying problems that led to this violence will be resolved to the betterment of all. Support for our C siblings. This video scheduled by give me a second. Diplomacy by Gustav Galatius and Salsablia Andy Ikyle. I may have got those names tragically wrong. I am greatly apologetic for that. A full citation and link is in the description. Any good ideas in this video are most likely theirs, and any mistakes or bad ideas are most likely from me or from my misunderstanding of the papers. In the brilliant paper that I am going to be shamelessly adapting, it explores exactly this issue, the issue of Holo ID members and their impact on public diplomacy. But before I discuss that, I'm going to have to introduce a few terms. Here we go. Soft power. All right. And I should take a stretch. Let me take my stretch. Also, I'm going to go and grab myself a sandwich. Be right back. And I'm back with a lettuce and cheese sandwich with lots of lettuce. All right, where were we? Okay, marking key points in the edit. And any mistake is soft power in contrast with hard power. Hard power is thanks. Power that comes from military might, ability to use violence for lie. Soft power is power that comes from cultural ties and personal influence. I'm going to reuse an analogy I previously used. Let homeowners say, we have actually everybody has authority and a well-maintained garden. They now have a maintained garden. They could arrange all parties and night market every fortnight. It's us competition. Sorts of other social media is intended to make you think positively of the homeowners association so that you'll do what they want you to do. This is a lot of soft power. Alternatively, the homeowners association could drop a main battle tank on the road and demand you garden or else. Good power. Census. Soft power is getting cooperation from another country by encouraging. This could be by sponsoring cultural events, like history emergencies, stuff like that. In games like Civilization and other X games, soft power is for cultural victory. And the things that law is across here, like Civilization and other stuff like that. Why are you not moving? Hello? Is getting cooperation from another country tank down the road and demand you garden else. That would be hard power. In broader senses, soft power is getting cooperation from another country by encouraging your country. This could be by sponsoring cultural events, providing assistance during an emergency, assisting our... Okay. I hate that. Oh, that did work. Okay. Let's put you to cyan and say insert hospital ship footage here. Providing assistance during emergencies, exporting and payments, stuff like that. In games like Civilization and other 4X games, power is your cultural victory. Things make people and perhaps... Exactly! That's one of the examples I use. More importantly, the leaders of those people think favourably of your country. The goodwill that can ease the creation of trade deals and trust that is required for military cooperation. These will often sponsor events in other countries in order to promote their countries to the decision of others. Soft power diplomacy is also why the People's Republic of China owns paired zoos. Hard power diplomacy be driving an army division into the capital of that country. So sum up, Pandas soft, Pandas hard. Another key concept we'll be introducing is new. Hey. Click. New public diplomacy. Introducing is new public diplomacy. Conventional public diplomacy or shortwave radio, broadcasts, like traditional craft. New public diplomacy is more a country's band. Using the brand from hand, the also most countries are the new public is more about peer connection between governments. Often involves more per capita area. The China representative now Papua New Guinea. Huh? Land now. Countries like the Philippines. Okay. We have to look at its place in the world with government support. It's about creating bonds between people and connections, shifting away from hierarchical-like structures to something more networked and mesh-like. To understand why this is important for Indonesia, okay. Oops. The Indonesian context. Why this is important for me. Countries like Russia, Mongolia, and Australia. In this area, there are relatives of free superpowers. The whole heap of points of confidence is the and this entire since the elephant. Oh, that was one of the other examples of soft power projection. The Overseas Filipino Worker Program is in a way its own sort of soft power projection method. for elephant subspecies, including the Borneo pygmy elephant. Look at this cutie! One of the what? Borneo pygmy elephant. Look at this cutie! One of the key. Get stock footage of Neo elephant. Look at this cutie! One of the key ways of not getting stomped on is to make yourself known. Many countries in this region have embarked on soft power public diplomacy campaigns, both to ensure their own safety, to conflict outbreak out, and also to encourage trade and further other national interests. Always informative news channel has talked about in length about Japan and South Korea. Huh. Yeah, but they work all over the rest of the world. Hmm. Ah, okay. Hi, Azure. I'm doing pretty fine. And South Korea's soft power reaction. They're paired by anime, J-pop, gaming, and tourism. South Korea via K-pop, drama, and games as well. The folks at Wendover Productions have talked about how Thailand is using its food and restaurants as a part of gastro diplomacy, another effort at soft power projection. There are also some forms of soft power projection as OFW, Filipino worker program, acting as a person-to-person projection of self-power. And now we return to the start of this video. Okay. And now VTubers as soft power. Ah. And now we return to the start of this video. Scrubbing through audio does sound like that. Power. And now we return to the star of this video, Indonesia. Why do I pronounce Indonesia like that? And why am I going to leave it in? Why would I fight with my kin? Oh, right. Is Crazy Ollie Indonesia's most active? No, of course not. That is it's a respect. As I wrote, let's go. Oh, they've changed the. Like that. Is. Let's go. Background black. Huh. Lined up correctly. Oops. Eh, um, Text plus. Yeah, actually, that's correct. How do I spell Ollie's name? Check that out. Copy that. I don't know why this software doesn't have spell check on text input. Diplomat. Let's make this a little bit bigger. Oops. Right. Now, can I modify with turb? Is crazy Ollie? That's not going to do it. I haven't stretched. I should stretch. All right. Done. Okay, actually, I think I know how to do this properly. Let's remove this one. Reset to default. I want guess fast noise. Actually, can we get what fast noise? Noise. See if we can get it to public. Okay, that looks like that. Seethe rate right up. Ah, discontinuous. Or maybe color. Just the alpha. I could just go like that. Does that look like not the type of seething I really want. Actually, if I go like that, push that into there, push that into there, the edges get a lot sharper. Okay. Uh, uh, it is crazy. All right. Now, if we have 3 sources here, okay. All right. Set this to animate. I actually don't know. I've never been able to manage it myself directly. So start off like that. Then at the end, uh, like that. And space between. Halfway. Let's like that. Let's make this shorter. So let's have the ollie. Oh, that's not in the. Okay, that's not what we want. Let's remove you from there. Is the ollie in the most effective diplomat? No, of course not. Just gonna increase that size slightly so that bit of the edge gets knocked off. Is crazy ollie in Asia's most effective diplomat? No, of course not. There we go. Well, diplomat. That's a good effect, and I think it's also a good point in time to call the stream to an end. So let's get back to my main room. Thank you, everybody, for joining me as I edited my latest video. Tomorrow we'll be playing some RimWorld, and I will be finally able to get my meds, so I'm looking forward to that. Thank you, everybody, for watching, and I hope to see you later. Goodbye. Oh, no, that's the wrong button.